All right, we are officially live for the first post game of the year. Regardless of the score, who gives a shit? We're ready to talk some Vikings, break down this game, huh?
This is last call. One bar and Lupagus live Vikings vent line. And there's a lot of vent about today after the Vikings drop preseason opener 33-6. Though the Vikings had just as many guys not playing today as the points the Broncos put up.
Yeah, and hey, took a lot of notes today. A lot of notes. I am ready to roll. I'm ready to talk some Vikings. Freddie Hall is in the house. Skull question mark. Skull exclamation point.
Those are more notes than you ever took in your entire high school and collegiate career.
I know. I couldn't believe I had a notebook. I couldn't believe I had a pen. But I did it. Patrick Harms is already in the house. Seen a lot of Vikings fans already freaking out about, well, that's just what we do. It's what we do. And preseason, the score, we know it doesn't matter. And the Vikings come out early afternoon basically saying their whole freaking roster isn't playing. Some of these guys that aren't playing was very surprising. 30 guys not playing it, all while the Broncos are just trotting out their first team offense and defense. So it made for a very interesting first quarter. And second quarter.
I'm going to be completely honest. I was at a wedding. I didn't get in until about midway through the third, and I'm pretty sure Jerry Jeudy was still out there playing at that point.
Jerry Jeudy, he was not messing around. But Chris Boyd, which we're going to talk about, was all over up in his ass. So we're going to be talking, comments. Keep these things firing. What you guys thought, what you saw, what you were excited about, what you're what?
You wrote school.
Oh, what you're disappointed about. We're going to be talking about studs of the game, turds of the game for the end of it. So make sure you're letting us know who your stud and turd of the game is. But fire off anything that you guys saw. We will be relying heavily on you guys as far as comments and what we're going to be chatting about.
Well, and it's, I know it's 33-6. It's preseason. Doesn't matter, whatever. But to get that beat that bad, I don't care if it's your second team, third team, whatever's out there. You want to see guys have a little better fight, a little better effort, and not get completely destroyed the way they did. So it is frustrating. Mike Zimmer clearly was not happy when he was interviewed at halftime about his team's performance. So,
can I make a quick comment? Comment here. During that interview at halftime, when Zimmer was getting, I could tell Zimmer was very frustrated, but I didn't care. All I cared about was the guy behind him who was drinking a little glass. I don't know if it was a drink, a Coke, whatever. Had like this Jerry curl thing going on. I just want to party with that guy so bad. So hopefully somebody watching knows what I'm talking about. That guy looks like he liked to party.
If he was drinking a Coke, he probably doesn't like to party very much.
I think it was a drink. Seemed a little short. Anyways, continue.
Well, I don't know. I was just saying, we saw some of this just from the notes coming out with the joint practices. It seemed like Denver's backups were way better than our backups, and it wasn't really close. And I think it kind of carried over to today.
DJ Viz Killer Dozier's pure dog crap. That's actually a compliment, and we will be talking about Mr. Dozier, no doubt about it. But yeah, the joint practice, like you said, Vikings weren't getting a ton of love, but there were some bright moments. We're going to talk about some positive things as well. There was some good things that happened. There was some pretty gross things that happened as well. Let's start off with the 30. So Vikings did not play. They just put 30 of their guys on the shelf, which wasn't overly surprising. But I was surprised about some of the guys that did play. I would have figured Stephen Weatherly would have been one of the 30. He was out there, and not only out there, but he was out there early and often. Dakota Dozier, just the fact that he's a seasoned vet, whether he's dog shit or not, the fact that he played today, I think he's fighting for his spot, and we'll talk about how he played. Who else?
Well, Cam Dantzler is out there too, and
yep, Dantzler was out there. He didn't have a fantastic game. The fact that they didn't play Oli Udoh, I think, says a lot. A lot. So guys that they didn't play, Madison didn't get out there. Udoh, Mackenzie Alexander, pretty much all of our defense wasn't out there except for Weatherly. So yeah, Miles Dorn was out there. He was definitely out there.
Yeah, I wish he wasn't after seeing him.
I think I got some very bad comments about Miles Dorn here. And let's be real. I love Miles Dorn.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Cam Bynum was out there a lot, not looking great. It just when AJ Rose is the guy that everybody's gonna be talking about after this game. he's not even going to make this roster. So you don't get excited about AJ Rose and what he did today. Yeah, it was great seeing a guy get a chance, an opportunity to make the most of it, but AJ Rose is not making this team.
Well, AJ Rose is I don't know what the word is, what the phrase is, but every year, every team has that running back who just kind of rips shit up. And AJ Rose, I got to hand it to him. That dude he ran hard, he ran tough. He was making good cuts. I mean, he was waiting. He's being very patient. Usually when rookie running backs, you see this where they just get the ball and they just take off. And he looked pretty damn good. So AJ Rose, I'm excited for him to get on the practice squad and hang out there, hopefully, because you never know what's going to happen in a year or two. Alexander Madison, when maybe if he moves on, AJ Rose could be a guy that comes in. But yeah, AJ Rose is not making this team. I'm sorry.
No, and yeah, I'm not criticizing the guy for playing hard when he's given a shot to do something. But again, you got Ngannou, you got Madison, you got Cook ahead of him on the depth chart. This guy ain't making this team.
He's not, but he's going to be fun to watch. And he's going to get us excited. Maybe he's the Kyle Sloter of this preseason.
Yeah, but I mean, are we going to see much more of him after this? If these other guys start to play a little bit more, AJ Rose's snaps and looks are going to be dwindled quite a bit.
Patrick Harms wants to be very clear that dog shit is much better than Dakota Dozier. Let's just do it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Dakota Dozier, not only was he one of the 30 players that didn't, I mean, he had to play today. They said you were going out there. Him and Drew Samir get to start at left guard. Let's just talk about the starting offensive line for the Vikings. Blake Brando was a left tackle. Drew Samia left guard. Center was Mason Cole. Mason Cole, I think, actually, I mean, feel free to hit me up in the comments. He didn't look horrible out there, especially since he had probably two of the worst guards in the league next to him. So then Dakota Dozier, and then at right tackle was Zach Bailey. I think it was Zach Bailey.
Oh, my God.
So Jake Browning had probably one of the worst offensive lines you could ever imagine in front of him. But let's talk Dakota Dozier and Drew Samia. Samia looked like dog shit. Drew Samia looked like more like dog shit, or Dakota Dozier. And not only to get the penalty in the end zone, just rookie mistake, but he was just getting smoked left and right. I'm sorry. They need to – it's just over. They can't have this guy on the active roster.
But is it over? I mean, he wasn't any better during the season last year, and he's still on this team. They've actually re-signed him after his horseshit performance last year. It shows up again today, playing against Denver. This was a guy who's potentially going to be a starter on your team, getting absolutely decimated. And I hope this is an eye-opener for the Vikings front office and the coaching staff to realize, okay, this guy smells like shit. He looks like shit. It's time to admit that he is shit.
Well, and one thing I want to make very clear, and I tweeted this out, is Kyle Hinton that bad? I mean, I don't even know if Kyle Hinton got on the field today.
I think he was out there.
If he did, I didn't see him. And the fact that he's still not out there above a guy like Dakota Dozier, he must be very, very bad. And it hurts me. It hurts me to say that.
It goes back to the famous conspiracy theory that Dozier maybe has something on these coaching staff or somebody, because his play just screams this guy does not belong in the NFL.
We'll see. Maybe they give him a mercy cut right off the bat. Ryan Robinson is spot on there. Spot on. All right. Well, Kyle Hinton did get out there. I didn't see him out there. The fact that Kyle Hinton is out there at the very end of this game and these guards are playing ahead of him is not a good sign for Mr. Hinton. Wyatt Davis, we'll just stick on the offensive line. He looked pretty good. He looked pretty damn good. I think he had a little bit of a shaky start, but he started to get a little mean, and that's what we saw at Ohio State. He was a mean son of a bitch, and I love that. So hopefully this will elevate him at least to the second team.
Well, I hope so. I hope the Dozier's dropping and, Davis is moving up. If you're going to actually evaluate players' positions on the depth chart based on this game, there's no other conclusion you can make than that.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, the offensive line was just – we can move on from the offensive line, but looking for bright spots here, and the only bright
spots what?
Did I just freeze or what?
You did on me. I don't know if I froze on you, but
I said the bright spot is the fact that everybody who played today is not an actual starter. That's my only bright spot, because it was pretty gross. It was pretty damn gross.
I know, and I mean, I don't want to keep jumping around, so we're sticking on offense.
Let's go to the receivers. Let's go to wide receivers.
All right, I never saw catch me when I was watching the game, so I don't know. I can't say much about him.
Well, the receivers, I think the main suspects out there were Osborne right from the start, Smith-Marset, Wap Fillier was out there. Who else? Dan Chisena was out there quite a bit, but it was not fantastic. And I'm not going to put this all on the receivers, because our quarterbacks, which we'll be talking about, seem to not want to throw the ball further than 7 yards. But Marset, let's talk about Smith-Marset. This dude is just going to be, I think he's going to be a very fun character to watch. He seems way too cocky for where he is at in his career, which at one is fantastic on one side and it's kind of horrible on the other. The dude's out there high stepping. You can tell he is just going to be a fun guy to watch and yapping, but he hasn't done that yet he hasn't done anything yet to deserve to do that.
He got 2 for 12 yards, so he did a little something today.
He did. He had a gross drop right off the bat, but high stepping. I mean, you could see after he missed that one in the end zone, not missed it, but it wasn't his fault, but he tried to do this flip up and tried to get up off his back. Did not pan out, but I do like the swagger. I will give him that. Other than that, wide receiver wise, Fillier, he had that one in the end zone, but just got absolutely destroyed and dropped it. So I'm not putting that on him. But receivers, there's really not much to talk about.
That was weird about that play, because I saw the replay a couple times, and to me it looked like he took 2 steps with possession and then got hit. So I don't know why would it be not a catch, but maybe he bobbled it. I don't know. The angle wasn't great. To me, it looked like a touchdown, but yeah, I mean, Smith-Marset, when I was watching, though, I was more concerned about is 3rd and 9, and they throw a little 2-yard little in play or a screen that they're hoping is gonna bust loose. I don't remember who the receiver was in that point. I think it maybe was Smith-Marset. I hope that's not an indication what the play calling we're going to see this year from Clint Kubiak, some conservative bullshit. I think we're both on the same board. If it's 3rd and 9, let's throw a 9-yard pass, try to get the first down. So I don't know. To me, it is what it is.
I think Coobs is just I think knowing the personnel he had out there, he had to keep it pretty vanilla. He couldn't get overly crazy. I'm fine with the play calling. I mean, it was boring. It was gross, but this is preseason. This is game 1 of the preseason. You have a lot of rookies out there, a lot of guys who really haven't played much. Look back to last year, Blake Brandel, even though these guys are second-year guys, they haven't played. They've never played. So I don't give a shit about the score. I don't care about the fact that it was a very boring game. Let's go to the spot where we should have started. Let's go to quarterback. Jake Browning comes out. He's been getting a lot of love in training camp. But he didn't look great. I'm sorry. He just didn't look great.
Yeah, the pick 6 to Surtain was a pass that probably shouldn't have been thrown where it was. Kind of an easy play for Surtain to make and kind of frolic that one right into the end zone. So that was definitely one of his worst decisions of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he seemed like he just really wanted to do he was dinking and dunking, but it seemed like that's what he wanted to do. He was very happy with throwing a -1 yard pass opposed to looking down the field. Was it? I don't know if it was Paul Allen or Bursich just saying his reads were just extremely slow. He looked a little skittish out there, and maybe we'll see a little bit more out of him in the second preseason game. But let's go to the next quarterback, Kellen Mond. I don't think it's going to take much for him to get that number 2 quarterback. Kellen Mond, I mean, everyone was surprised that he even played in this game. And not only did he play, but he didn't have a fantastic game, but he didn't F up. He didn't really force anything. I got to hand it to Kellen Mond. I think he played a pretty well game.
I don't know. I wasn't really overly impressed with what I saw. There was a lot of indecisiveness in the pocket, takeoff run. You get like a 2-yard gain on 4th and 5, or you dump it off short. I never really saw him push the ball down the field. So I'm not as up on Kellen Mond. I'll give the kid credit for coming and playing with the relatively.
Yeah, he has no practice. He's done really nothing.
Time. So yeah, but I don't know. You got to see more. You got to see more.
We got to see more, but the fact that he didn't come in and throw 3 interceptions or just completely look like shit, I applaud him for that. So his pocket awareness, we're not used to seeing that. And for a rookie in his first game, I thought he did pretty damn good. So Kellen Mond, I'm sorry, I'm giving him a clap.
I'm not. I'm giving him a meh.
Nobody does that.
Meh.
Quarterback wise, I mean, let us know in the comments. I mean, am I high? I mean, I thought Kellen Mond actually looked pretty good, but maybe I'm way off.
Maybe you are. Let's I want to have one guy who did play today on defense. I'm going to go to Cam Dantzler, and he wasn't even close on the KJ Hamler touchdown. And then a couple things that were said during that play. PA said, looks like he's running gingerly or whatever. And then
hold on, I'm sorry, Freddie Hall. I want to party with that guy.
Maybe he'll drink a Coke too, like your friend in the background of the interview.
This looks like he loves to have a good time.
I think he's pooping right there when he took that picture. Pretty sure he's mid-poop.
Who's that dude? He looed scared to throw the ball downfield. He probably was scared. I mean, he's a rookie. He probably was very, very, very scared. But if the week 1 was tomorrow and Kirk Cousins went down, I would rather have Kellen Mond out there. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see. I'd like to see a little more Kellen Mond before I want to say that. So here's the thing. Cam Dantzler getting there playing. You got Cameron Bynum playing with him. Was he really expecting him to be there covering that play? Is it just kind of not being in sync with these guys you're not used to playing with? Or is Dantzler kind of hiding an injury? I don't know. But that wasn't great to see. You don't like to see a guy you think could potentially be a starter getting absolutely burned by KJ Hamler.
Yeah, comes the cornerbacks. Dantzler and Boyd were the starting cornerbacks, but Dantzler, I mean, at least Hamlin is a pretty decent wide receiver. So it would have been much worse, but he did get absolutely smoked. The only question I have, and maybe you said this, I wasn't paying attention, is if Bynum, if he was not in the right spot. So regardless, Dantzler didn't really look good anyways, tackling wise, and that play was just kind of gross. And like we said right when we started this thing off, I'm surprised he was even one of the guys out there playing.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, they were saying, they kind of hinted in the broadcast that maybe he was hurt, dinged up, something was going on with Dantzler. And again, with the whole Bynum thing, not used to playing with him, expecting him to do something when he's doing something else. So Cam Bynum, to me, I don't know. He just didn't look like he really knew what the hell he was doing out there at all.
Yeah, and Camps, you're right. If we had to play, if Mond was our quarterback, we would not be in good shape. There's no doubt about that. Matt Collins, Luther Kirk, you're damn right. He had a fantastic game. I think I got a couple of notes about Luther Kirk. He was in the backfield. He had a couple of good plays. So Luther Kirk, for a handful of safeties that look like crap, Luther Kirk definitely stuck out to me. Let's go to the defensive line. Our defensive line was down to the second and third stringers. Stephen Weatherly was out there. Didn't do a ton, but defensive line didn't look overly fantastic. James Lynch was out there right off the bat, who I definitely have a special place in my heart because we are both Gingers. But again, he didn't do a ton. Patrick Jones, I thought, looked fantastic. Had that big tackle for a loss, and he was in it one really late. But what's your thoughts on defensive line?
Well, again, I was officiating a wedding early. I came in late, mid third quarter, and every time I saw our D line, I was actually pretty damn impressed. There was a good push. They were in there. If it was a running play, they were kind of tackling the guy in the backfield. So I was actually impressed with who was out there that third, fourth quarter. So I actually thought they looked pretty damn good. And I don't even know really who was out there playing. I think I saw Armon Watts still out there, but for what I saw late in the game, I thought they looked okay. Yeah,
Hercules Mataafa was out there very late. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but he was playing a lot. But they were mixing in guys like Kenny Willekes, which was great to see. We know we love us some Kenny Willekes, so it's good to see him out there. Jordan Scott, Janarius Robinson should have had that nice pick. That would have been fantastic. He was out there. That dude's ginormous. I don't even know how tall he is, but he looked pretty good. But I think when it comes down to it, I think that opposite starting defensive end, aside from Daniil Hunter, I don't think it's a shoo-in that it's going to be Stephen Weatherly.
And the reason I think it would be Weatherly is just the Vikings, just their history of going with the established starter at that position, a guy who's experienced, who's done it before. If you're going talent, Yeah, it probably should be Patrick Jones. It should maybe be a DJ One, be somebody else. But I still would be, if I'm putting money down, I'm going to say Stephen Riley gets the start.
We'll see. Patrick Jones, I'd love to see that. And L.S. Gregor just loves North Dakota State way too much. Way too much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to think what he might do with a NDSU poster in front of him.
Oh, God, you finish. DJ Wanham, JDT 93. Hopefully that 93 is for Mr. John Randall. But, yeah. DJ Wanham, he was out there again. Another guy that I was kind of surprised that was out there, but he did pretty good. He's in the backfield in a couple plays. I wish I would have seen DJ Wanham out there at linebacker like we've heard at training camp, but that didn't happen.
Here's something I think we should probably start doing. Let's go through your notebook. What do you got?
Want me to fire through this? There's not some very nice comments.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but it might spark some conversation.
Let's go through it.
Cam Smith, great story. Love the fact that he was out there. They talked about it, but very ugly in pass coverage right off the bat. That one play where he got smoked right off the bat, and then he ends up getting injured, so he was out. Miles Dorn just says gross. Very iffy, not only tackling, but in coverage. And one thing I want to mention, and maybe it's just me, but I can't get used to these numbers, these weird-ass numbers out there. It's going to take a little while to get used to that. Patrick Surtain, what is he, 2? Was he 9? I can't remember.
Isn't Cameron Smith 32?
Yeah, it was very, very, very tough to watch. So Miles Dorn, Cam Danzler, smoke show by Hamler. Maben needs to not be on this team as well. Dakota Dozier and Maben need to just maybe go sell some insurance, sell some cars.
Would you rather have Dylan Maben or Aaron Maben?
Dylan Maben. Aaron Maben is out there thriving somewhere. AJ Rose, I just got thumper. Love that. Zach Davidson on that touchdown pass. Damn it. He should have caught that thing. It was right there. And let me down. He let me down. I'm a big Zach Davidson guy. Brandon Dillon had an ugly drop. Josh Metellus had a beautiful special teams play where he stuck that guy, I think, inside the 15 on a kickoff. So Josh Metellus, if he's going to make this team, it's going to be because of his special teams and because our safety depth sucks, which they proved today. Very, very ugly pick by Browning, like we talked about. Chaz Surratt. Let's talk about Surratt. Surratt looked pretty good out there. I got to give it to him. I mean, he looks a little confused, look a little lost, but he should. But he is a guy that is not scared to get it up in people's business.
Physically, he looked too much like Troy Dye for my liking.
No.
But other than that, I saw him make a couple plays, sniff a couple things out, and you got to love his athletic ability, how quick he can get to the football. So, Surratt does have a high ceiling. I hope he can figure out the mental part of the game.
Well, let's talk about a very high note. What I took away is Chris Boyd. Chris Boyd had a fantastic game. We had talked about the cornerbacks already, but Chris Boyd was all, and this isn't him going against the Broncos' fifth string wide receiver. He was up in Jerry Jeudy at that fourth and goal. Had a beautiful pass breakup, and then another couple series later, he was with Jerry Jeudy once again, right up in his ass. So Chris, damn near. So Chris Boyd, 7th round pick, former guy, and he's definitely not only making this team, but I think we're going to see a lot of Chris Boyd. So he showed up today. He was one of the few Vikings that absolutely showed up.
The only thing about Chris Boyd, too, is he's just such a ball of energy. He seems like he's a fun guy to be around, gets the whole team up, gets the whole team moving, kind of a spark plug type of player. So I liked about Chris Boyd.
SSM Creations in the house, giving Surratt a little bit of love.
Probably drinking our beer.
Loves him. And Kenny Nwangu, the guy that I predicted that was going to come out and just get Vikings fans very excited. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was actually ever out there. They said it was his knee, it was his leg. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see him. That's why we saw a heavy dose of Mr. AJ Rose. So hopefully next game we get to see him.
So let's I never did see a Vikings punt, or I think I saw one.
Oh,
but
God.
Specifically point out that our punting was horseshit in his interview. How bad was Colquitt in the first half?
Colquitt was horrible. He was horrible. He was horrible last year. And he came out. I don't know what his first punt was. If somebody knows that, feel free to drop it in the comments. But he had 4 punts today. He averaged 40 yards a punt, but I'm pretty sure 2 of those were about 28 yards. I wouldn't be surprised if I was very surprised that who's that LSU punter they brought in as an undrafted free agent and instantly just got rid of him.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised to see some punters coming in. That was a very disgusting showing by Mr. Colquitt.
And the fact that Zimmer pointed out in this game interview shows that he was not very happy either. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. And we've made the late punter switch before. This ain't anything new around here, so it could definitely be a possibility.
Yes. I'm sorry, I was just reading a comment. Yeah, we'll see. And might be a little bit of a spoiler alert, but remember, we're doing turd and stud of the game. So if you have your stud of the game or the turd of the game, put it in the comments. Speaking of special teams, let's talk about and yes, Ellis Greger, you're damn right. I think Zach Davidson would have had a better showing at punter today than Britton Colquitt. Greg Joseph, he had his moment. Next week, it sounds like it's going to be Riley Patterson, but he was 2 for 2, had a long of 34 yards and right down the gut. Right down the gut.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely reassuring. That's what you want your kicker to do. The guy who's especially going to, he's favored to win the job, be perfect on the day. So, again, it was only 34 yards, but he's hitting the field goals. Dan Bailey, you've been holding our breath. We've been having crucifixes on us, crossing our fingers, hoping for the best. If Dan Bailey is doing a 34-yard field goal, so well done, Greg Joseph. That's all you can hope for at this point. Make your kicks.
Space Rodeo wants us to cut everybody and start over from scratch. God. I actually do have offensive play calling equals vanilla pudding.
Well, it's preseason game 1. They're not going to throw anything special in there. They're not going to throw any crazy wrinkles out there. It is what it is, and don't be surprised to see that. Again, when you're 4th and 9, it is the preseason. So you were saying they're not going to do anything fancy, but the flip side of that is why not just chuck the ball down the field at that point? It's the preseason. What are you going to lose? Throw the goddamn ball.
Jayton's, he's terrified. We need to make him feel better. Let's make him feel better. Make him feel better.
Here's the one thing I can make you feel better, Jayton. I hope you're if you're that young and you can get on this, then you're very, very advanced. 30 players out. 30. Boom. You had 30 out.
We had 30 out, but I don't remember who it was. Doesn't matter because these guys are the next man up. They need to show up just because they're not the starters. They need to pull their weight. They need to show that they can play in this league. And a lot of our secondary, especially those safeties, along with punter, safety might be a position that they're out there sniffing around a little bit because as much as I wanted Miles Doran to rip shit up today, as much as I wanted Cam Bynum to show that transition from corner to safety is going to be very smooth, it was pretty gross. And if Harrison Smith goes down, Xavier Woods goes down, we are in shit.
Yeah, and that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be in shit. Again, we need to this was not a great game. It was very disappointing. It was frustrating. But yes, 30 guys out, preseason week 1. Let's not jump off the cliff just now.
I'm still a little upset that you're not giving Kellen Mond. I don't think you're giving Kellen Mond the love that he probably deserves.
From what I've seen, I didn't see much of anything.
Well, they're not going to give him he probably knows 9 plays in the playbook.
Zero.
The fact that he didn't force anything, the fact that he didn't make any overly gross mistakes for a 3rd-round quarterback rookie, I'm excited.
I'm not
hold on, we got breaking news. Dozer is king of shit.
King of shit, says Quang Win.
Monomedi. Mon deserves all the love. I agree.
What do you do? He threw
Freddie Hall. Freddie Hall thinks you're nuts.
I just didn't see much.
I don't know. I think you're in the minority here.
I don't hate him, but I don't think we should be heaping praise on him at this point.
Well, we're seeing a lot of turds of the game. Let's see some studs of the game. Who do you guys think showed up and prove their worth?
Anybody dropping lines yet?
Patrick Harms thinks South Park needs to make an episode of Dozier's career.
Wow.
I was tweeting out too early in the game, just ripping on Dozier, and it got actually to the point where I felt bad. I'm like, there's no point. There's no point of piling on this guy. Clearly, he is not a good football player.
Well, let's go back to this. Was he not did he not enter free agency last year and we re-signed him?
Damn right we did. We had to have him. We got him, and now he's ours.
But it's just there was no reason to think he was any better or any different. And they went back and they brought him back. It's mind-boggling, and he's probably worse than he was last year. And it's just the most head-scratching move why you think Dakota Dozier has any value on your roster.
Damn it, Bob. I've been waiting for a Miller Lite comment.
Yeah. Bob Sweet, of course, is going to drop that.
It's delicious. It's delicious. Well, it'll be interesting to see how they shake things up when it comes next. Who do we got next week? Is the Colts?
Colts at
Colts.
US Bank again.
I could see if Dakota Dozier is even still on this team. I think.
Oh, he'll be on the team.
Well, I think he's going to get I think he's going to chop down a little bit. There's no way they can trot him out there. Drew Samia as well. The Vikings are in a bad spot. Both their two backup guards they shouldn't be backups on any team. So they need to scramble a little bit. And unfortunately, we're just kind of screwed. And yes, Freddie Hall, it is Wyatt Davis time.
Did Ezra Cleveland play tonight? Did he start?
No. He's too good.
And here's the thing: we gotta maybe take a step back and look at too. This is the first 3-game preseason we've had. So, obviously back in the day, preseason week 1, maybe your starters play one series, then your backups come in, then it's the third stringers, whatever. And in week 2, it's maybe a quarter for the starters, backups, third strings take over late in the game. So how the Vikings are going to start working this now with only 3 preseason games is, maybe something that we're still getting a feel for. Is next week the dress rehearsal? Is week 3 the dress rehearsal? I don't know. And it's something that we haven't seen yet. So we're kind of all getting used to this new routine of how the preseason is going to work. So I don't think the Vikings' plan was to not start 30 players. I think when Blake Brandel was kind of deemed the starting left tackle, that Zimmer said, no way in hell I'm putting Kirk Cousins out there in that situation. So, and maybe that's just a trickle-down thing where 30 guys aren't playing. Maybe everybody else doesn't really feel like it's something that counts and doesn't try as hard. So as frustrating as this game was, and it was frustrating. I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off. You hate to see when it's man-to-man, guys going against someone else, trying to prove who's better, and you're getting absolutely dominated. Not great, but let's remember it's preseason 1. We have 30 guys out, and we don't know how they're working this new schedule with the preseason. So let's just relax a little bit. Well,
this is actually a pretty valid question here. DJ Viz Killer, would you rather have Dozier or herpes? So
I'm going to answer this. I'm going to go Dozier because Dozier can go away. Herpes will never go away.
That's you should be a health teacher for 11th grade high school.
Thank you.
I think you do well. But there is some news here. Monomita would take herpes all day, every day.
Wait. I think you need to go to the McAndrews there. I guess he knows something we don't.
Oh shit! God, we got a great fan base here because he is a genius. I love it. What were you just talking about? Because I was just gonna make a really good comment, and I can't remember.
I was just talking about we don't know the Vikings' plan. There's only 3 preseason games this year. It's not 4. Back in the day, we know how everything has worked, and obviously you got 30 guys. Was that by plan? Was that not? We don't know when is the dress rehearsal. Is it week 2, week 3 in this 3-game preseason schedule? No one really knows.
Well, and Viking Jerome in the house, always good to see him. And Jaden Berry makes a good point. He feels for Dozier. Dozier's probably to the point right now where he's like, why are you playing me? You were making me look. My family's watching this. I don't need this. I just want to be a backup, maybe a third string. Put me where I should be. And unfortunately, the Vikings are just putting him out there where it's just going to make him look silly. Because when you look on the sidelines, Dozier looks like a happy guy. He's probably a fantastic guy. But he just can't block anybody. And when you got to hold Shamar Stephen in the end zone, Shamar Stephen, who I don't even know had a sack last year for the Vikings, you got to hold him from getting a sack. He should be in timeout. He should be in his room.
I don't know if Shamar 7 has a sack, period.
He does. He's got a sack, and it's a big, beautiful sack. One guy who we haven't talked about that I want to talk about,
Wait,
Troy Dye.
You got to stop for a second.
What?
You got to go. Patrick Harms has something he needs to tell everybody.
I don't believe you, Patrick. I don't believe that for a second.
That's what I used to say too.
I don't believe it. Hold on. I see a Phil Rauscher comment. Jack Horeb. Phil Rauscher can fix Simeon Dozier. While that might not be true and it's not believable, I did love when they were interviewing Brian O'Neill. O'Neill said that Rauscher brings some intensity to the offensive line. And he made damn sure to comment and say that this is something that that is new. They haven't seen before. So Rauscher, I'm glad he's putting a spark up these guys' ass.
Okay, when O'Neill was out there, did it look like he not had about 3 pounds of makeup on and eyeliner? I mean,
it did, and it also looked like he doesn't have much emotion to him, but he's a damn good right tackle that they need to give some effing money to.
Yeah, that would be nice if we get him locked up. I mean, really, honest to God, I want to know what everybody thinks. Do you actually think the Vikings are going to actually cut Dakota Dozier?
Yes, they're going to cut Dakota Dozier.
I don't know.
I think
they're going to cut
but I
don't know.
I'm sorry. I mean, it was Dakota Dozier should have been the anchor of this offensive line today. As bad as Dakota Dozier is, he should have been the guy that stepped up and didn't. He was the worst one. He's like the worst turd out of a hungover shit in the morning. It's the one that just continues to stick to the side of the toilet. You flush it 40 times and it's still there.
I was going to say, is it the one that's like miscolored or odd shaped or what? Anthony Cargina thinks that Dozier will be cut. Scissors.
I don't think that says Cargina, but the guy I wanted to talk about that you rudely interrupted me about was Troy Dye. Troy Dye, he still is not wearing any sort of accessories. He doesn't have an elbow pad or wristband. He still looks like he probably doesn't belong, but I'm going to give Troy Dye a little bit of love because he didn't look horrible out there. And he was out there. He was getting the defense. He was calling the plays. Clearly, the Vikings do have plans for him. What those plans are, I'm not sure. But Troy Dye looked pretty good out there. I mean, in a defense that looked like shit, I'm going to give Troy Dye a little bit of love.
Did he start? I feel like I saw him very, very late in the game.
No, he was out there early and often.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. Linebackers were very depleted today. I believe he actually did start. But I guess I'm probably a little more excited about Troy Dye just because of the fact last year he didn't look very good at all. So I'm not excited to the fact that I think he's actually going to contribute this year. I'm just glad he came out there and showed something.
Well, I mean, he's one of these guys who could definitely take a huge year or two jump. Super athletic. Yeah, he looks really undersized. He looks like he maybe should be the long snapper or something. But the guy can move. The guy can get sideline to sideline. He can cover. You think a year in the system, getting all the reps in the extended preseason, the normal preseason that he didn't have last year would help him. So a guy, you're looking for a guy to make a jump. Troy Dye is definitely somebody who could do it. Yeah,
and I'm just going to look at the box score here quick. I mean, Cam Bynum, didn't have a fantastic game, but he did have 7 tackles today.
DD.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to give a little bit of love here.
I think 43's number is really odd.
There's a lot of really odd numbers. I can't get used to the Zach Davidson number 40 either. It just makes me feel gross.
Never made you feel gross?
Yeah, you have actually. Let's see.
Thank you.
Is there a guy that just sticks out to you that just really disappointed you today? Just really, really wanted to show up and he just didn't.
Well, I guess I was expecting a lot more out of Jake Browning, to be honest with you. Just hearing how good he's looked in his extended reps in this preseason where he wasn't supposed to get as long of a look as he was. 5 for 10, 31 yards and a pick, an ugly pick, which a ball that probably shouldn't have been thrown. Again, his O-line was not really anything you'd want to have. It's probably most normal teams about 4th O-line option, but I actually thought Jake Browning was going to put on a kind of a show today, and he did not.
Yeah, and Smith Marset, we're seeing a couple of these, and that was my guy, especially with the offensive or the wide receivers completely depleted out there as far as guys not playing. Smith-Marsette, if he at least would have hauled in that first catch that he just let drop off his big old mitts, that was really depressing. And even his returns, I was expecting more from him. So while we'll probably see some very, very good things from him in the next couple of games, game one wasn't fantastic. So Smith-Marsette, and I'm going to throw Zach Davidson out there as well. You didn't see a ton of balls thrown his way, unlike the Lupagus in high school shower time. But the one he did see, he dropped, which is pretty disappointing, because when you look at what he did in college last year, he did not drop those at all. It just happened.
Knocked over my on the air sign. And one thing I want to say is we've been hearing about these guys in preseason training camp looking great, doing all this stuff. And when the Broncos came to town, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, maybe they're not as good as we thought. And now we see it in the preseason game where these young guys who were looking good in practice against our other young guys, another team comes into town and we don't look as good as we thought we did. So that, to me, is a little bit concerning.
It is. And Monomita, you be nice to Wap Fillier. He is my man. He is my guy. And he got absolutely wrecked on that touchdown pass, but I really wish he would have caught.
I still think he caught it.
We'll see. And one other guy I want to talk about that really he played, but it didn't seem like he played, was Harrison Hand. So I guess I wish I would have seen some more out of him. But like I said, not a big deal.
Yeah, you talk about other guys have been disappointing. He was the stud. He was the Mr. Mankato of OTAs. He was Mr. Ota, and he looks like Mr. Scrota ever since. Nothing from him in camp. And again, he's out there today not looking overly impressive one bit. And I'm very disappointed in Harrison Hand. Oh,
all right. I didn't know where you're going with that, but it's Harrison Hand. Yeah, and he didn't start. Chris Boyd got to start over him. We'll see.
Very disappointed.
Yeah, I can tell. Cam Danzler, yeah, you're right. Average gamer, absolutely right.
Yeah, but I wonder if he's hurt.
I don't think so. If he even had a tinge of a injury, his ass would not have been out there. You know what was great today? Those long snaps today. Special teams, long snapper was on point.
I'm glad.
Positive thinking. Positive.
Highlights of this game were our long snapper and our fifth string running back.
AJ Rose.
Well, it goes to show you this. Obviously our O-line is shit, but they're pretty good opening up holes for the running game.
Yeah. We at least have to mention Teddy Bridgewater. He got a good reception from Vikings fans, which is always good to see.
Good
7 for 8. What?
Great.
Just at least had to mention him. I mean, come on.
Anybody
who says they were upset when we drafted Teddy Bridgewater is a liar. It was fantastic. And you know what? Hopefully he comes out. Drew Lock looked pretty good against our 9th string secondary. So good for him. So he can kiss my ass. And that's all we're going to talk about as far as Broncos. I'm sorry. One guy that I was hoping game-changing play that did not happen was Tuff Borland. And Tuff Borland really didn't do much of anything. And he's even got a weirder number than I hoped. Was he 47? I was going to say. So yeah, and Tulu, he wants to fire Zimmer, get his ass out of there after that preseason loss.
Tulu Kaneshiro is like, get this guy out of here. He can't coach a preseason game. His life's dependent on it. Uninterested.
Sean Anderson giving Greg Coleman some love as usual.
You know what? I came in late in the game and I watched the last quarter and a half, and I gotta be honest, PA was really getting on my nerves. Just annoying.
PA is PA. He's the homer through with every inch of his body. It's just that's just the way I do. A lot of Bears chatter all of a sudden. I got to mention the comment that Justin Fields made today. He said that the NFL, what did he say, is a lot slower than he expected or something. He shouldn't have said that. I mean, preseason game 1, he needs to just maybe bite his tongue a little bit. Hopefully Kellen Mond doesn't say anything goofy like that, because it's not going to be slow when Harrison Smith is out there and he is up his ass.
Or you got Michael Pierce, Delvin Tomlinson, Sheldon Richardson, Daniel Hunter, and Stephen Weatherly eating his ball sack every single play.
Jack Horeb thinks that PA might be finishing on every single play.
He was saying all these names really like I can't remember who it was. Judy. It was just fucking annoying. It was annoying as hell.
Well, let's have one more beer. Let's wrap up this preseason game. I'd like to end it on a good note. Viking Jerome thinks the cheerleaders look good.
That's not the first comment I've seen. I didn't see any of them, but supposedly they were smoking.
I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anything on my. Actually, I do want to mention something.
Yeah,
Jalen Holmes, for a guy who's been around this long, a guy that is with the guys who actually played today, should have been one of the leaders. He really wasn't out there much, and when he was out there, he didn't look fantastic. This defensive line is going to be very interesting to see how they shake out as far as cuts, because I think there's going to be some. I'm not going to say shit my pants type of cuts, but I think there's going to be some very interesting moves when it comes to the defensive line.
Well, I mean, to me, Jalen Holmes is the equivalent of Dakota Dozier on defense. I just
no.
Knock
it off.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
That's too rude.
He's versatile. Dakota Dozier is versatile, but when he actually gets in there and does something, he sucks, which is what Dozier does. So they're very similar, just opposite sides of the spectrum.
There's a difference between just being not great and absolutely sucking. So Jalen Holmes is he's a role player. He's not very good.
What has he ever done?
He doesn't give up 2 points by holding Shamar Stephen in the end zone. I'll tell you that much.
He would. Gives up 2 points every time he doesn't get a safety when the quarterback's in the end zone. He's not even close to him. He's probably dropped back.
I'm just saying that's a little rough to compare him to Dakota Dozier.
No, it's not. He deserves it.
Let's see what else we got here.
I don't know. You got a very extensive list.
Yeah, I mean I think we pretty much hit on the high points here and mostly low points. Jacob is. I'm concerned about Dakota Dozier's safety tonight. How much Jacob does not like him. Hercules Mataafa. He might be better, but that's like saying
better than what?
That's like saying a yellow starburst is better than an orange starburst. They both suck.
No, orange starburst is way better.
But I'm just saying
pink are the worst. Pink are the worst.
Derek has some thoughts. Looks like Derek might be the original one bar.
It's there's only one way to find that out if that's true. We need to see get Dozier in here and give us handies.
And you know what? The average gamer makes a very good point. Jalen Holmes is the Pat Elflein. He's not quite the Dozier.
I'm sorry. I know I can compare him to somebody who's not on the team anymore.
I'm just saying. It makes a little more sense. All right, let's do the official. Kai Archer, you're nuts. Are you nuts? Have you ever even had a red starburst?
Yeah,
sir. Sir, hello.
I can't believe they actually sell pink only bags.
I think old JDT93 agrees. And hey, remember #4000. We're giving away a Vikings jersey when we get to 4,000 subscribers. So if you're just watching and thinking we're just complete idiots, that's fine. But remember, subscribe. #4000. At least you'll get a Vikings jersey out of it.
A lot of we do give a lot of shit away, so you will get some swag. I think we never let anybody down yet.
We haven't, and we are here every damn day talking Vikings post games. I can't wait till regular season post games. Those are gonna be fun because that's when we're actually gonna have some fire up our ass. Because right now we're just it's preseason, but when this is regular season, shit's gonna get real. You're gonna see a lot of unfiltered one bar and Lupagus.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it all hang out. I'm taking the shirt off. Everything's flopping around.
This is gonna be the first year you're gonna see Lupagus tucking right up back by his beautiful blinds.
Those are really expensive blinds.
They look like it. I agree. Let's do it. Stud and turd of the game. Official stud and turd of the game. We want to hear some comments who your stud and turd of the game are as well, because we are just pulling it out of our ass. But I'm pretty confident in mine.
I'm gonna go stud first. My stud of the game, definitely our 7th string running back, AJ Rose, 25 carries, 100 yards on the ground, 4 yards a pop. Boom, AJ Rose.
He did well, and this is, I mean, just imagine if he would have had an actual legit offensive line in front of him against a Denver defense that was fairly, I think it was pretty full of first team starters. So well done. If you're getting 100 yards and you're running behind Blake Brandel and Dakota Dozier, you deserve to play in the NFL.
You will. I don't know if he'll be on the Vikings. It might be on a different team.
He will be on the practice squad. I'm going. What?
What's with all the pink Starburst love? I don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe our taste buds are shot.
I used to throw them out.
I would never throw out a single Starburst. Just to be clear, I even eat the yellow ones. The older I get, the better the yellow ones actually taste.
I got a problem with yellow.
KJ Osborne, stud of the game. Wow, he did. I think he had. What did he have? One catch? Let me look here quick.
Right here.
2 for 15.
Huh?
Manomidai, Dozier is the turd. Patrick Jones is a stud. I like that. Let's see what else we got. A lot of Dozier turds. AJ Rose. I'm actually going to go in a different route for the stud. I'm going to give it to Chris Boyd. I mean, like I said, if he was going against their 4th, 5th string wide receiver, would be one thing, but he was shutting down Jerry Jeudy today, and Chris Boyd isn't a guy that's going to be out there against the 1 and 2s. So I love the fact that he showed up and he's very confident out there. That 4th and goal where he knocked that away actually got my parts very excited, very excited. So Chris Boyd, I'm admittedly not a Chris Boyd guy. I'm not a huge fan of him, but today he showed up. So hats off to Chris Boyd.
Well, I think what I like about Chris Boyd and that is paying off. I think he's really, listening to Patrick Peterson and doing everything he can. He's like a sponge. Everything Peterson can tell him, he's taking it in and he's applying it. So I'd like to see this from Chris Boyd. So I'm very encouraged by what he did today.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that our cornerbacks are going to be so improved this year that Chris Boyd will be our 5th or 6th cornerback. That makes me very happy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the. This isn't just a turd of the game. This is the hungover shit after you've been drinking for 14 hours.
I'm
it just
queefing.
Sticks to the toilet for days.
I'm still queefing.
Let's hear your studs. Who's your studs?
I thought we were doing.
This isn't the queef. Hey, hold on. This isn't the queef of the game. Don't change it up. This is this turd of the game. Don't be gross.
I was pooping at the same time.
You shouldn't be able to cue.
Oh, well,
let's see some turds. Just a lot of Starburst talk, really. Still,
yeah. The Starburst talk really took over this live stream.
Nuge, turd of the game is a Kubiak's game plan. I'm giving him a pass. It's game 1.
Week 1. Then you have
Dozier, easy. 1 bars back there again. The whole game was a turd. Smith Marset, that's valid. I agree. Turd of the game, Browning. No pun intended. Yeah, Browning.
Makes sense. That's a good pun.
It's going to be very interesting to see what they do at the quarterback position, how many they keep, if they're going to keep 2 or they're going to keep 3. Dozier scored 2 points. You know what? That's a valid point. Besides Greg Joseph, Dozier did score the most points.
He did. He did do that.
Old McDonald in the house. We love us some Old McDonald. Viking Jerome Kubiak game plan sucked.
You don't game plan for preseason week 1.
Dozier's the turd. A lot of Doziers. All right, Lopagus, who's your turd of the game?
I'm going to go with the majority. I'm going Dakota Dozier. I mean, you got a chance to impress the coaching staff, make the fans.
He's had a chance his whole career.
And he just comes out and does what he always does. And I hope this is an eye opener. I hope the one good positive to come from this game is maybe the coaching staff realizes now Dakota Dozier is shit and we don't need him.
I'd like to throw you a bone and say that's going to be the case, but he's been shit since he's been here, and he started 16 games last year. They don't care. They do not care, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, I won't be surprised if he was a starter this year and just completely sucked because nothing would surprise me at this point. I'm not going to Dakota Dozier. I'm going a different route. I'm going a different turd. I am going with our punter, Britton Colquitt. Come on. Punt the fucking ball. I apologize for my horrible language here, but are you kidding me? It's not like this guy is a rookie. It's not like he has been in here for 2 or 3 years. Jesus. Punt the ball down the field. When they're getting the ball at the 40, 45-yard line, give me a break.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. It's blacked out.
No, I didn't see him punt. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't come until late, so sounds like it was horrible. Sounds like it was disgusting. And again, it wouldn't be uncommon to see the Vikings make a move at punter late in the preseason. They've done it many, many times before, so we'll see.
Bob Swede. Someday I'm going to find Bob Swede, and him and I are going to have a real delicious Miller Lite together.
I'm drinking High Life Light, and next time, Bob, I will drink my Sam Adams Oktoberfest for you.
It's very nice of you. It's very nice. So those are our studs. Those are our turds. And no, Big Roo, we are not freaking out after one preseason game. It'll, it doesn't matter until we get to week 1 against those Bengals. So whatever they're doing, even though Zimmer seemed like he had a little something real sharp up his ass today, he was not happy. It doesn't matter. This is week 1, or this is game 1 of the preseason. Nobody gives a shit. Let's hope they fix some things. Let's hope next week against the Colts we come out with a little more fire, because we seemed a little tired today.
Okay. It's not a reason to freak out, get all excited, but it's also not a reason to blow it off either. So I think there's a little bit of both here. Let's not lose our shit, but let's also not blow this off. So maybe we're not as good as we thought we were from top to bottom, and we're not as bad as we look today. So let's just relax.
You know what I don't give a shit about? I don't give a shit how our third stringers did against the Broncos third stringers, because none of these guys are going to see the field. I care about preseason game 3. We're going to see the starters for 3 quarters. Those guys need to be tight. That's all I give a shit about. And until then, I'm not going to worry one damn bit.
Will it be preseason game 2?
No, I think they're going to do 3. I think 3 we'll see the full showcase. We'll see. Old McDonald, depth is an issue. I think when it comes to a couple of positions, he's right. I think safety is very scary. Guard is obviously scary. The average gamer, really nice. Thank you. Dylan the third. Wow, Patrick. He did have a bad drop, but I'm not going to give him the third.
Brandon Dillon, don't you ever say that.
Yeah, he's not great. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Hashtag 4,000. When we get to 4,000 subs, we're giving away that jersey. And we are going to be here every damn day talking Vikings. We'll be back probably tomorrow morning, earlier than you guys want, talking Vikings. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks everybody that came on live. We're going to do this every damn game.
Hell yeah, I can't wait. It's very exciting. You know what we're going to do is this is going to be like a therapy session. We're just going to talk it out, good or bad. We're just going to freaking let it out, express our emotions. Yeah, thank you. Is that Candy Maldonado's kid?
Candy Maldonado, he was a Toronto Blue Jay.
He was on every team.
Hitter, not a great fielder, but a good hitter.
I think he was on the Cleveland. What are they called now? They're called the Guardians.
Yeah, Cleveland Guardians. Troy Dye, turd. Oh man, I was giving him some love. He didn't do bad. And yes, Newage, we are definitely gonna do live streams, probably pregame and postgame. You're gonna, guys. Anybody who wants to see us can, because we're gonna be going balls to the wall.
Yeah, we'll be here. All right. Remember this, as you're waiting for next week's game against the Colts. A 2010 study found that if forced to choose between sex and bacon, 43% of Canadians would choose bacon every time.
Smart.